Good afternoon. Appreciate you guys being here. Before I open up the questions, just want to give everyone an update, a little insight to what's been going on. I know it's been about a month since that opening presser with AG. After that press conference, AG and I really hit the ground running, putting together the coaching staff. Feel really good about the staff we put together. Got a chance to work with them the last 4 weeks, get to know them, and really looking forward to working with them these next 2 months through the free agency and draft process. Once we had that staff intact and had the staff in place, one of the first things we did was we got all the coaches and the scouts in a room to talk about what we'll be looking for in Jets players moving forward. You know, some position-specific stuff, some schematic things, and just make up what we're looking for in players. It's a really good process, some good dialogue there. That next week, so about 2 weeks ago, brought all the college scouts into the building. We had our, call it, February draft meetings, a little preliminary board set, kind of leading up to this combine process. Really good opportunity for me to get to know and learn these Jets scouts and that staff, and them to get to know me as well. Feel really good about coming into this process, have a better feel for some of these players at the combine here this week. And then last week, we got the coaching staff corralled back up. We're upstairs in the personnel room with the coaches, the scouts, the analytics department, and really talked about our Jets roster, some of our free agents, and some potential free agents in this market that may be in our preliminary plans. So felt really good about coming out of that week last week and just our preliminary plans heading into free agency and the draft. Feel good about the cap space, our 8 draft picks that we have right now going into the draft. So that's a little insight to what's been going on the past month in Florham Park. Just want to address the Aaron Rodgers stuff, get ahead of that. I'm not going to discuss any private discussions that I had with Aaron throughout this process, and really with any private discussion I had with any player for that matter. I'm not here to confirm or deny any rumors that happened during that process. I will say this: there was never an ultimatum or rules of engagement for Aaron to potentially join the Jets again. That never happened. AG and I had a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversations, a lot of good thoughts, and just felt at the end of the day it was the best thing for the Jets moving forward, just going a different direction at the quarterback position. So a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers as a player and person. First ballot Hall of Famer. Wish him nothing but the best. But that was a decision we made, and look forward to kind of moving past that and into this next process here with free agency and the draft. So with that, I'll open the floor to any questions.
Yeah, why is it the best thing for the Jets to not have Rodgers? I mean, obviously, he threw 28 touchdowns, plus 4,000 yards. There's some production there in 2024. Why is he not the best?
Yeah, we just felt like the best thing moving forward for the Jets was to go in a different direction at quarterback.
So what's going to be your approach?
We're going to exhaust all options. Obviously, there's a lot of intriguing prospects here this week at the Combine. We'll dive into that, some in free agency, and we'll keep all options open at quarterback and really every position on the team.
What's your process of just looking at quarterbacks, and what do you look for in a quarterback?
It's a collaborative process with all of our scouts, our coaches, myself, AG. There's a lot of things that go into that.
Yeah, I'm sure that a perfect world a franchise quarterback falls to you guys at 7, but when you assess the current state of this roster, do you believe you were in a position where you could be aggressive in trading up, where there's enough holes that are filled where you could potentially mortgage future draft capital to get a guy if you want to do that?
I do. I think at 7 right now, we're going to be open to potentially moving up for a player or moving back. All those options are on the table right now.
What are you going to is June 1 on Aaron?
We're still in the process of that. We have time to make that decision, but likely so. Mike, nice to see you.
How are you doing?
Good.
Aaron Glenn played for Sean, or at least coached under Sean Payton. You see similarities, characteristics that they both have?
I do see some similarities with AG and Sean, and there's just AG being around Sean, myself being around Sean. There's a lot of things we share in terms of process, player evaluation, roster building. So that's been nice to kind of share those things.
Personality-wise?
Not yet. We'll see once the bullets really start flying and we get into it. But I'm lucky to be around both those guys.
What are your thoughts on Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and just could a stitch and possibly be kind of
Yeah, I'm just excited those guys are on the roster. 2 young, good players, talented players. Excited they're part of the roster.
What's your evaluation of Tyrod? Is he someone you guys don't consider that?
Yeah, for sure. Another player I'm excited that he's on the roster. You know, coming into this team, I'd been around a lot of players and coaches that have been around Tyrod, and I heard a lot of good things about him prior to me getting here. I've had the opportunity to talk to Tyrod a few times, so like I said, I'm really excited he's on the team.
Philosophically, how do you feel about extending players after the game?
Yeah.
Long, big picture, not specific.
Yeah, I think it's case by case, team by team, player by player, situation where you're at. So I don't know that I have a philosophy on it. I think it's always case by case.
Is that on the to-do express displeasure about the move at quarterback and maybe not wanting to be dealt against? What's your message to guys who might be tired of you?
I understand why some people look. Aaron's a great guy and a great player, so I understand some of those feelings. But every decision AG and I make since we've got here and moving forward is with the goal of winning now and from now on. So I understand that, but just trusting that AG and I are making every decision that we think is the best for the team now and from now on to win games.
How do you go about doing that?
Doing what?
The goal is to win now. So what do you?
Putting the best players on the team possible.
What's the
Now that you
Ryan, how you doing? Absolutely. I think we are well aware of the landscape in the division, and we'll kind of build the team accordingly with those things in mind.
What's the status on the job for a month? How did your time with the Broncos, all the different people you were with there, help shape you for this role?
Oh, man, so many ways. I've had a lot of great influences, like I said in my opening presser about a month ago, from John Elway to George Payton to Sean Payton, just to name a few. So I think I've learned a lot from those guys to help me prepare for this job now.
Where do you guys stand on Davante Adams at the moment?
Yeah, Davante's on the team right now. Obviously, we have a plan there, and in the next few weeks, we'll kind of address that issue. But Davante's on the team.
Have you given permission to him? His agent, Jerry Vincent?
Again, all those private discussions that I've had with Davante, his representation, I'll keep private for now.
Alan Lazard is another one who's kind of got a contract that you guys can release him.
Yeah, I'm well aware of their contract situations, and those are things we'll address in the coming weeks.
When you talk about Gary and Sauce you have on the team, Sauce has made it clear he wants to be here long term. Is this on your to-do list of getting those guys locked up?
The to-do list is to keep good young players on the team and add good players. So, yeah. Special player. We've actually had a lot of those discussions, and we'll continue to have those discussions the next few months. But just a tremendous talent, and excited about that player.
What do you think about the talent overall, just in this draft?
I think it's a good draft. Like I said, I really got more exposure to it 2 weeks ago when all the college scouts were in the building, and I feel strong about this class. I think it's a really strong defensive line group, good running back group. But overall, I think it's a good draft.
How educational was the process you guys took last year when you went about scouting Bo Nix and deciding that he was the guy you wanted to go after? How could that help?
Yeah, that was a great process last year, going through that, search for a quarterback and exploring all those options. Learned a lot, and we'll apply that for this draft as well.
Darren, the NIL are now a few years into it. What's the biggest way that has changed the work of area scouts and all the resulting transfers it's created in terms of how you guys do it?
It's made it a little more difficult just with the players bouncing around, but it hasn't changed the process much or how we really view the players. We're still digging in. It just makes it a little more difficult in terms of tracking down some of the history with the player and doing the background of different schools on the player.
With Aaron, was his off-the-field activities any part of this decision?
I'm not going to comment on any of the Aaron Rodgers stuff any more than I already have.
What's the thinking of doing a post-year one-time as opposed to just taking the captain now? Why split?
Yeah, and we're not set on any of that, but obviously we'll have more discussions about that. There's different ways of looking at it, but yeah.
Has the way the digging space has been increasing year by year? Does that play a role in?
Yeah, a bit. Absolutely. Keep it more flexible and open.
How
Surprising thing in the first year of the first
Kind
month
of.
of
I don't know that there's been one thing that's really stuck out as a surprise or different or unexpected, to be honest.
two more, you think, Andy and Carlos?
After just digging in the last month, how do you feel about the offensive line and where it's at?
I feel good about that group. A lot of young, talented pieces on that group. I feel good about the offensive line and look forward to getting to know them more as we go through this process.
How active do you anticipate being in free agency?
We'll have a plan. I don't know how active or measured it'll be, but we'll have a good plan.
Can you talk about Robbie Payton, bringing him?
Yeah, Robbie's a guy I've got the chance to work with for 8 or 9 years in Denver. Works really hard, good scout, good evaluator. He's familiar with a lot of the processes that I'm accustomed to, both free agency and the draft. So it's a great addition. Glad we got Robbie on board.